So, hello and welcome back. So right now, what we have to do is fix the collar. So, and the first thing you want to do is trace your this thing, your lines that you have to, then your collar. If you haven't forgotten, this a collar. Go and pick it from wherever it is you put it, and then you place it on your fabric like this to check for any adjustment. Yeah, you may need to adjust it or even make a new one if possible. So okay, and this is the midpoint right here. So this is cool, and this is what we are going to be using actually. If you have actually the ones you make from the beginning will be okay if you have not made any alteration on your neck, so it will be nice. So I'm still having the same thing right here. So that is, let's put this aside and then okay. So right now what I should do is I should be using wording for this, but I'm not going to be using wording. Okay, right now that we have this, we will be cutting it from this. Cutting this out of our wording and our, what do we call it, and our canvas. You can use just the wording, but I like it to have this canvas because it makes it cool. Like, yes, make it stand so nice. So that's why I'm going to be doing that. And you are going to be cutting it, just the two pieces of this plus allowance. Okay, so you can see I've cut this out of wording and I added a 1/4 of an inch here where I'm going to be, because I have to sew it right here. I've sewed two pieces of this. I cut two pieces of this, so I'm going to be sewing it here by a 1/4 of an inch. And this is done, and then I'm going to be repeating the same thing on this. But while I'm cutting on this, I have to cut this on bias. And already this is on bias already. So I'm just simply going to cut two pieces of this as well. Right now I have all my pieces. Two pieces of this and two pieces of this. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm simply going to sew this by a 1/4 of an inch, and also this one by a 1/4 of an inch, and then we'll continue from there. So right now I've sewn the pieces. You can see this from here, and I've stop stitched, and also the same thing right here. So I'm just going to be sewing the two pieces together with a stitch, a part stitch, machine stitch actually, not by hand. Let's change direction. Okay, here's it. You can see this. I will take it to the machine and sew all across. But before we go, there's one thing I want us to do right before we go. And that one thing is, see this point, we have to mark this point. Mark this point right here and right here. And the same marking here, and then we are going to have to rule our line. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing is we take this to the machine and sew this line. Okay, let's go there and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, right now we are here, and as you can see, this is the first thing I'm going to have. Okay, you can see, so I'm going to be stitching this line. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be putting another row of basting stitch, and right here I'm going to be having another row also. So right now I have about, let's say, 2 or 3 rows. I don't know if you're seeing this clearly from this area. Sorry, the thing is black. And then after the lower part, you go on ahead to the top part and repeat the same thing. Or simply you might just change the direction of the ones you're going to be having at this point. You can make something like this, just to hold the 2 pieces together actually. I hope you can see what I'm doing. You go on that zigzag. Okay. Okay. So here is the thing. The next thing you want to do is maybe give it a straight line right here at the top. That's not overly important, but it's still cool you do it. Okay, now that we've done this, the next thing is we take it to the iron. Okay, right now we are here at the iron, and you can see all the lines I did here. Okay, so you want to trim all these edges away on the inner stuff, not on the outer one actually. So you want to trim the edges so that it won't be showing when you flip it to the other side here. So now that we've done this, we can do a bit of pressing here. You want to add water and press it very well. You can see that so after pressing, you see this line that you chalked. You want to have to fold that just like this, making sure you are folding it right on that line. Aha. So I'm sure you can see what I did here. I folded this right on the line. You can see I don't have my line straight again. Okay, now the next thing we do is take it to the, okay, right now I'm having my collar, how do I call it? You can see what I have here. So now let's take it to the body itself and fix it. Okay, right now, as you can see, this is my collar. I'm still going to have to knit all these points, all this area, all this stuff will be removed. Well, let's get to work immediately. So what you want to do now is you want to place it I'm going to be placing my collar, and then this is the midpoint. So the first thing you want to do is you match the midpoint with the midpoint of the neck, with the center back line. So you match that and then baste it in place. So once you match this point, you baste it. Okay, and then after basting the midpoint, you want to come here as well. You see this crease line, the fold line we have here, as in this row line. I think you can see the row line here. So you want to make sure the row line is also matching the same exact place right here too. And then you baste this point also. But first, let's just check it now. Let's say we are checking how cool it's going to be. So right here, I'm going to be having a nice collar now. So once we are sure this is cool, you may want to check it at the other side as well, to be very sure you're not doing the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay. Now that this is done, and I am very sure right now that this is cool. It is nice. As you can see it. So once I'm sure this is nice, I can remove it and then place my thing and sew my top collar onto that under collar. So let's quickly get to cut the top collar as well. Okay, let's take this away for now, and then okay, this is. So you can see right now I have placed my my under collar, so, and I've marked all around, and then at the top I added half of an inch. Right here I added 5/8. Right here I added 1 inch. Right here 1 inch, and then from here to here 1.5. So I'm going to be cutting all these edges away right now. Okay, so one thing you want to do is you want to notch the center. So you don't want to make that mistake of leaving the center unnotched. So I'm going to be notching the center, and I'm also going to be notching the place where my under corner, which is right here. So those points are important places, reference points. Okay, so right now I have my top collar almost ready now. Got my top collar almost ready. Okay, so now to cut, I'm still going to be cutting maybe one more part of this, and to cut that I will be cutting it on bias, and I'll be cutting this on bias. Now make that just about, let's say, 1 inch. 1.5. So I have this on the bias. You can see I have this cut on the bias, and that is the next thing we'll have to do now. So the first thing we want to do right now is I'm going to take this to the machine and match this, my midpoint here, and match it with this notch. maybe I should just mark the half inch that I'm supposed to sew right here. So to avoid any form of mistake or whatsoever it could be. So after that, I'm going to be matching. You see, this is the top side. I'm going to be matching this and making sure I place it like this. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing till I get here. Then I'll be sewing that. And then I'll repeat the same thing right here and sew. I just hope you see that. So let's quickly do that. If you have a zigzag machine, that's actually one very good way to do it. You can use your zigzag machine to do this. Sorry, before I go, I'll need to add interfacing to this to give it structure. Yeah. Okay, right now I've added interfacing. And what I'm going to be doing is the midpoint here, I'm going to be matching it to the midpoint here. Yeah, this is my midpoint here. And then I will start sewing right here. So you can sew a straight line first. I'm going to be doing a cross stitch and later hand stitching. So, but for now, I love us to have it out. So you can see, let me position the camera very well so that you can see it. Okay. So I'm going to be sewing this just like this.